case the majority caucus in parliament, which is such a critical wing in your party.
They are critical as the youth wing, the women's wing, the diaspora wing, the Labour caucus. They are. Listen, they are a wing. Hey.
But they cannot be on the same level as the youth.
Why?
Oh, please.
Did they write exams to sit in parliament, or people voted for them?
No,
I said the general secretary of the party speaking, nobody as a locus. I will not miss this word.
You are talking about the majority caucus.
And so what?
Led by the leader of
and so what? Is he bigger than the general secretary?
The Minister of Parliament.
Is he bigger than the general secretary of the party? He is not. Hey. Tomorrow the signature the general secretary can take him off that seat. The signature of the general secretary of the party can take him off the majority caucus seat. Simple. On to me pray. I get him
off as a leader of the majority.
Yes.
Not as a member of parliament.
No. Say at the time we move out, general secretary and communicate here. I don't have a problem, but party not communicate. Into at that moment, you don't put it public. It's like you are robbing yourself. Why?
And no move you, no take
position without hearing anything. And you're fair. And I don't think we have to encourage this thing, because you encourage here. All we are asking is that all the groups in the party will start writing, calling, do this. And then another group can say, hey, maintain it. You don't have. What are we going to do? Are we not going to fight ourselves? Very well. They are the members of parliament, revered, respected, but they have no locus in this matter.
When we talk in this country, when you blessing this platform, you could see say you would sell when you're entirety. Some of the things that are happening today, we have said it several times in this country that and you might be brave honoma, T2 pies, Ayawashi East in Komahasabe. If you say, oh, Debbie, now we are not feeling I ever can't say me, I know more time about Jama and I'm saying Debbie. And come away, dear. Maybe on a beer 1 year or a certain scapegoat to be, for lack of a better word. But no crap, I say. The NDC knows. The MPP knows, the journalists know that this is what has been prevailing. Where a conspirator talked about monocracy in our government of the democracy, in our politics. Yes. Various people of repute, Akasaba, Kwanya Sika, Enya Kwenya. Now you cover elections, Ghana, yes, election headquarters. Yes. We saw people, open top, language as we haven't seen all these things before.
It's true.
It's a assembly bar. Cylinders, assembly bar. TV. We give political solutions to national issues. Sure. Because and away the system person, all those things, and Timin Koyam Rama or Mine of Chatum Famobra. The enemy say a Kotua bar, Sikasem, and it's Archediano, and you're part of your battle. Simple. In Chemubian, maybe. But if you are the Sasu Sudiana, Emrashabim, Sasu Sudiana, Comrashabim, Abba, why? So if we want solutions, young Yapantai, young country, I will say, Sikasem, a dear, I will keep Mammy Kebi, and I'm on two, and I'm going to a YouTube. If we don't do that, because I am expecting that the NDC will nullify this election.
Why should they?
Because they believe that Omununya associated with normal bribery and corruption when it comes to elections. That's the position they've taken with the election.
But the bribery alleged would have to be established.
Well,
you
don't Ahobi. Some of them BTA. Now, Diano. It's any pan no. Yes. Obia and Cherry, and a BBI on you who say Kivo Gary, and you who say a Kivo milk. Whatever trade, some of them, but the young Muntia, yet mean Jimunino. Say, I know what I know. Say, yet do you also agree, say, you want us to establish, you want us to establish, say, I. And Tumano, Kivo Garino, Cosiano, the 32 inch no, I assume to be established. Okay, they have told him, establish here. About to be Obiana Cocochadi because Obia established.
Obianca's Obianco Chadio. The American say, you want to make consequential decisions. I do based on assembly.
What is consequential about the American? The American say,
what who said delegates be a interview. And I will be Casa me Jentoma. Memeji Kivo Gary, who say any of the aspirant, Eden Thomas,
okay, Obi.
Okay. Oh, my, me pedia okay. Who say obedient Thomas Obinse.
Me see, me pedia okay, say,
Yimano, yes or no, Nian Twa,
Ebiniho.
Well, who be yes,
Ebiniho.
I'm saying,
me pedia okay, say,
the investigations established.
Me pedia okay, say, yeah, who be by who sent to money give you.
I'm on for, you didn't say, I'm
me Kazama for them. Okay,
okay.
Fortunately for me, let me use that route.
Okay.
Anna, that route, of course,
good.
Me won't give you. Me won't kosia. Me won't tuma. Me won't 32 inches. But the me can say, and Krata who do you know much rabano. And very discouraging. It doesn't help solve the problem that we want to fight in this country about.
If he
a year about if he party, if he don't OSP, please. No be any hand of mercy crutch. OSP family giddy coach mercy crutch.
Yeah.
Obi. But one of the Baba catcher will say, maybe apart from you, Baba Jamal Kaze, and the Stala, or the Bruno, or yes,
and the interview before going before the committee. Or say, or no, not Onim Hoshio. Or say, or no, or say after the elections, yes, you will be TV. But no, or say, baby, and that's what I was telling you, said, the Obe who in the video.
By your problems, we can't solve it.
Say, I'm a aspirant. And a BBC Yaba, and Wabe family say, lawyer, Yanko before the committee.
I don't have a problem.
It's a question here, one question. Who am I? Obi who was out into make sure we say,
Pato Debbie.
See, then what's your problem?
It's yes, or we a problem in the
into Omoya Shimuni. Let's establish this. I'm Baba Jamal the fat TV. And I say, Baba Jamal's express instruction will be for TV. It's a different
one. Express instruction, the one that because
and the maker, at the end of the day, emotions.
And the maker said,
the party made a good move. My disappointment with the majority statement. Say, without calling for investigations, almost the whole thing should be annulled. Now, you're banning all the aspirants. How would you ban them?
Okay.
Based on that.
Well, Obi, when a defeatee. Sir, I think
does it defeat it? We focus more on the symptoms rather than the root.
That is my point.
And I think Obiame, the most reasonable on this whole issue, Ras Mubarak.
That's my point.
His write-ups.
That's my point.
The political parties know. We just don't want to take the hard decisions and we are protesting.
No, we are
you saying, say, NDC and any of the political parties. So we are next internal elections we are on better committees at your mati. And because I am Baba Jamal.
But that is my point. Obi make a say.
Peace what parliament we why not Angeli?
Obi make catch now say. Who's a cancer? Assembly bar. Ya be share na ye 2 as you say root no. Ya take on ye 2 as you preoccupam na fi no. We don't do that. We do political solutions. We do emotional solutions. We do targeted solutions. And yet a nationalistic solution. Into the next election I be no. These same issues will come up again. And then those funny comments from the OSP right after but you two problem now. We know.
And that's why me whom a majority for statement. Now me share for a science statement. Oman share for a science statement.
What is this?
Region be a caucus leader. In the half origin, Honorable Alaji Collins Dowd and a sign.
What is this?
Honorable Mohammed Bawa Brahima for Ashanti.
Why?
Honorable Vincent Topua Samoa for Bono. Queen Star Poku Asoya for Central.
Why?
Joseph Apia Boatin for East. Alfred Okobana Man Vanderpoy for Accra. Bandim Abednego Azuma Northeast. Al Hassan Umar Northern. John Bless Oti. Andrew Darry Chiwete Savannah. James Agalgaye Upper East. Sebastian Sandari Upper West. Oscar Oforila be Western North. Isaac J. Mensa, Isaac J. Mensa, Western Region. Emmanuel Kwesi Bejra Volta. Dominic Napari, Bono East. My point is that these are members of parliament. They know what happens during primaries. None of these 16 gentlemen can say so. Mumubia and church during primaries. My point is that Ras Mubarak go back to the roots.
Let's get that solution.
The only time they got it very right, a timer, all card-bearing members of the party, Etro Abano. And Ras Mubarak said, but for that policy, I'm going to point to me MP. Because I'm quite a delegate system now, but it got to a point all card-bearing members of the party at Waba. You cannot bribe all of them. It is fair. And that is what I think the party should be.
I am amazed with some of the things that we do in this
rather than the cosmetic way are sustainable.
Very cosmetic.
How would you sustain this?
I am amazed. Then the OSP writes, because MPP ni NDC for Omana Montubio. Hey, OSP. Now. I don't get some of these things. Why? Why? It's a committee now. Why
the committee is to establish if indeed Obi engaging in vote buying. That's the committee's terms of reference. They should establish Obi engaging in vote buying, and based on that way, then the party can make consequential orders, which includes but not limited to say Ombe annulling the whole.
Well, the media prescription is let all of us not pretend. Say this is one unique opportunity. Be an case. Be you're about to massive. Say you're about to have to na fena we be CBC done a broad in Tiasia Suntino we the media any and look at the swiftness of all the letters about him. Is this organized? Because from her to her to her,
you can see also a genuine intention to want to do things differently.
But
as to say
in doing things differently,
yes.
Na Baba Jama Nkwana.
So it has to start from somewhere.
There be nipa be the contest here NDC for.
Yeah, we nipa num.
It is NDC for the contest.
NDC for.
I hear even that the woman is serving on the board.
3 boards.
On the public officer.
Or a public officer.
What is the meaning of Baba Jama? What's the meaning of that? The other people only NDC for. I don't want to know their private life. They just came to power. Yeah. And the motorbike back here say.
Bakuno motorbikes 100 motorbikes to the number of polling stations.
So where are their names?
130, yeah.
So where are their names? Please. Some person demonstrate say when you brace Sadia way, T2 NDC Amanyoko, every neko Monsu Bima. This approach is wrong. 100% wrong. It will not yield any results.
May I think, sir, if the party is minded, then they should go back to the every card-bearing member voting. No? Every card-bearing member voting, they had a challenge because amount for infiltratee. But because of that challenge, you don't jettison the whole policy. It was all plucking loopholes and then you move on. But I want to jettison the policy. And I say, Omaba back at the same issue as I about you. The response should not be victimizing one person. Because even in this whole narrative, Baba Jamal and Kwani.
That's the point.
It's so unfair.
That's the point.
It's also unfair.
Because you're clear, sir.
It's so unfair.
Intent is not to kill that Adiana higher man. It's just to target an individual. That is so unfair. Maybe you board me as so. Or no, allegedly say what Jessica. Obi or NDC. Mobile 1 year, 3 months in watch moto Makuma 130 or so. Because but the policy in elections is that we don't entertain any cash or any kind giving that's the policy in our elections. And try to say me win and be say I can't say we there and then now about to a course war I was is NDC Amanu Koromonia Bria or shining in Antofon. No Musama, Sanko for Naba Twabanima, or Musanko, Sanko for the Ma, on Fanya Suchinis and Naoma, all other people in NDC. Equally MPP, equally every Ghanaian be a person standing public office biano who must inducement every year a lead factor in your campaign. You'll be punished accordingly, but not this knee jerk.
So
anyway,
I think the party should begin thinking around abolishing delegate system. We are getting
politician ben metina ha onsu say sikasem ebro adwene nti politician politician ben metina on ka say ne de sikasem no ama me ne wo kwa ye ka say enche bia if you are not careful, criminals
now
there's criminals who are making money through no means who enter the system.
It's true.
It is a person and bring your boy a democracy no buy na ya man your sama ye no ho bani and munyam bamudia. We should start well by checking some of these things. But this approach,
why I thought the majority crowd should have, my candid opinion, I thought the majority should have stayed out of this issue. Now, Omoma party, in dealing with the issue, because especially when majority members, under the guise of say Mokobon Sawa Amama, a week to the election, Mokobon 100,000 Ghana cedis. And from the game, everybody will go like, 2 days to election in Po. 100,000 Ghana cedis. If people will go like, then what's the interest? If the minority then issues a statement, the statement doesn't call for investigation. So statement they say straight away annul the vote and ban all the aspirants.
So can we also conclude that because their interest was not served? Is that a fair conclusion that because their interest was not served, that is why they also doing it? Inference. I
think the majority should have stayed out of this and allow the Fifikwete-led party management.
Now, let's call this a fact. Jack, one year man yourself. Yes, no man kasa. Yes, no more any demo. Yanyan kwada biemo. Sometimes I don't know what they think in their comfort and they are planning and they are scheming and orchestrating. They think that it's a walkover.
Asempa FM.
Yanyan kwada biemo. Yo how? Me kan na mo se me twetwa maso. Na me we from 1998 obi. Everything that we are Kumasi Road. Who will say we are not bothered by that? If we say we are not bothered by that, please, you can call them more. Obi, I'm not 51 years. So the politicians think I don't have sense to think. Why? I don't know what person just say when they go to their various homes, they are responsible there. We are also responsible there. We Suko Muko Yakobi. Ka Mutimi Yatimbi. And say Amu 18 year Tibi. If you don't feel your fimubi, a could pay a crumb from your fimubi. It is so much yes, sir.
President recalls Ghana's High Commissioner to Nigeria, and essentially, Nadia Omampeni Kane say, Honorable Baba, His Excellency Baba Jamal, Nejuma as Ghana Ambassador to High Commissioner to Nigeria Fantoho, based on Neomana Akoso Ayawaso East constituency. The basis really. Then say, we the primary no and say the allegations of vote buying no India, which was with me, Pacho.
Oh, the edit I know, say we really primary side is not an offense. When you're going to be anti, we know election was say we really primary.
Yes.
Number two, it's important to clarify here, say there's no law, some law,
Asempa FM.
You see, High Commissioner being one say that pray internal primaries of a party and also what contested parliamentary election. Now, we need parliamentary election of the MPDR. And we say, or the Juma as High Commissioner, Ambassador. You can raise questions about propriety, but you are the lawyer. You know that there's no law that backs that kind of context.
Yes.
No, in itself is not an offense.
Yes.
Yes,
okay.
But I'm telling you now, anyway. And I'm saying about a year prime say personal and you be a coswa in
yes.
I find it say Sike and Yamatibia. It's Yamra a triple Kedimani to be any memoirs. Now, the say opening to let you Masidian for until Mampeni Mahama. Oh, Yakotua, but not to Ghana, who say a bar a memoir. A better, I'm a paper and going to boy in Juma. Make us say you were orala in Penipua, a baby woman, baby a chairman, or you have to be someone somewhere, if you crowd or court for various offenses.
Yes.
If they are happening, in China, it's Yamrana, a bit in Yapo, a memoir. Old make I say, Lipa, A.D. said, Mano, said your men the party for anatomy and appointee, you know, on the necessary. Until Lydia bit in Yayano, and if a bet chili panaso. And on the two just a year near Minia, a large Jamal. If some can be also say, why did you exercise? Into no on Friday, the unknown to a high commission. Now, it's here not a Jomubu or FIA, get me. And I know I say party, no, I say, my son could be almost saying, if I'm a young in theater and not my first meeting.
Sure.
I stand to be corrected, but
that's true.
I'm getting.
That's true.
And your friend saying, OS so and saying, well, if you are for the other statement, say, or yes, you should mean, after morning and the body be a person.
Yes.
So it was in response to allegations of vote buying, any union or media. It's here electoral loss, instead of my penny to Sanamon.
But which should have come first? Because as you said, now allegations for now. Ain't he, if the president will make that move, say we recall a high commissioner based on allegations, would that not breach the fundamental rules of natural justice in this case? Because up until that time, Baba Jamal had not been heard, unless Ebi Omanpenyin need in Komo, Emma Omanpenyin was satisfied, say indeed, on a yes, no. Is that what happened?
Oh, of course, yen to me one for our Brian Seneca, and that is not what President Mahama has done. But I think that there's sufficient basis on the evidence of the to demand or require a certain kind of action. But as to whether he is guilty of the offense or not, it is only fair. Say you comply with the demands of natural justice, then you give him a hearing. And that is precisely why the party is going to look into the matter. The first thing, special prosecutor, so
yeah.
But I think there are times which means the ACOS even pending further investigation on any necessary judicial process, you can take some action. I mean, from my opinion, yes, it sends a certain signal. Say in the area of what they are, and you have it's a bit one of them, and that is exactly what has happened.
If the investigations establish, say, what happens?
Well, that would mean that he has been cleared by a proper investigative committee.
Yes.
As to what happens next, they are maintaining the bachelor if he is willing to recall him, reinstate him, and not obey the decision. But the point is that special prosecutor
growing perception, whether real or imagined, when you take the NDC party establishment, they seem to be on a coalition course with the seat of the president, which is the presidency. Mijisa, what do was so to form what is ansem so we say party, it take a position against the presidency anyway. Into a friction be or montem any other. You may have heard that. What do you make of it, Felix?
I thought of all maintain that.
Okay.
And I don't think there's even basis for science as a canon. It is not unusual for people to speculate in this regard. In fact, party BIBD or minus UBI has suffered that population. Like I said, there was a time he was, in fact, at the year necessary, say, Obesia MPP delegates to speak to them. A whole of time, as someone said, so we a messenger or a memoir, a yes, and so they your friend saying,
General Secretary,
that is where that thing came from. And at the time, when I'm for the say, pass the food because on there was some friction and they were no police. It is usual speculation in Ghanaian politics and governance circles. But as I speak to you, I'm not aware of any friction. Mamenka said, a party chairman, general secretary of NDC. They attend cabinet into major decisions. They are part of the delegation. So if there was friction, I'm not sure that they will be invited to cabinet to take part in deliberations concerning how to govern the country. So
yes.
I also know of regular interactions between the leadership of the party and the president. They have access to the president. So we all have very good relations. Many minister and now I'm many party general secretary. And your chairman, General Mosquito, because we have that cordial relation. So there is really no friction, except say once we are coming to government, which will say policy it's very compassionate.
Yes.
It will be actually you be in reality, also no.
Sure.
And I say, Obia also be Sabeka. Naturally, it brings a certain level of, if you like, and so to me, the Kasaba say, will be a fool, and I say, but those things are very normal in our policy, and then the SRC, and then also the but it does not really affect the way that the country is governed. So there's really no risk.
Those who have made that argument have cited 2 or 3 instances. Number one,
give me the instances.
Number one, the General Secretary recently condemn or Moana calling for a third term for John Mahama, calling them sycophants. And the people thought say it was a direct swipe at the presidency. Number two, recently, party, the neck and the NDC, neck of the party. Eba out, kind say we a government appointed up so running for party officer 6 months to time. I was do a juma etoho. Some appointees feel say it's a slap on their face because Omufi said they are being unnecessarily targeted by the party. I spoke to the deputy general secretary of the party. Said, was the president, who is the leader of the party, aware, and did he approve that decision? I mean, when to me, I'm a direct answer or coin cycles, Anna, Ujaito, and it was obvious the president didn't approve that decision from in command in AD, Some feel say these instances nature say all is not well between the party and the presidency.
Obi, let's examine the two instances. Anytime, say one to the baby, as someone being Mama Ka, say, or running for a session. In fact, the Mama has explicitly denied it, and the no. He was actually in a meeting with the president of Singapore. Now it would be. That was Singapore. And so he said it on an international platform.
Yes.
You understand me?
Yes.
So he has put it on record. So on what basis is anybody going to suggest say I'm a person or contest and you know grab a say General Secretary Kase Omwa and then I'm going to answer. But indeed there are people who have said those things.
Sure.
But the people are free to say what they want. So I'm Obi, me say Obi, me say 2024 and I 28 about who the president could not. It is my view about you.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I won't obey it.
Sure.
You understand me?
Sure.
Aha. But if there are others who are saying that propagating it, not a general secretary should say, well, yes, papa, it's just what. Meaning how that constitutes a friction between the party and the government. If it were the case, say for the Mama, I declare a officer of contest, and I just say, then you can talk about friction. But what is the basis for the friction? Because the General Secretary has called out Lipebi as Nakasansam. The man who is president has said, you have already met. So there's nothing to have friction about. Number two, the party guidelines back. Now I say, we appointee of government now person could do the bill party more. We put that for we should be see and place about one. Again, it is not new. And you have the for Ghana memory. He caused about 7 or so ministers in his government to resign a year to the election because they wanted to contest the NDC primary.
Yes.
Yes, so it is not unprecedented. They are there. The party believes, say, in order to create a level playing field, so that Obi are abusing the position towards contesting the party position. And also, Obi answer a bias mediation is and Tonchayan free Dibia. Now, which means the focus of corporate our party Dibia now. I mean to know, resign 6 months to election. How does that constitute friction between the party and the people in government? I think it's a fair proposition. So we are office holder. You resign within a reasonable time and so on have to praise. Otherwise, you'll be conflicted.
Yeah, but because it involves appointees of the president.
Yes.
And the president being leader.
Of the president are bound by party guidelines.
I get you.
Yeah, the appointee of the president.
Yes.
I parliamentary seat 2028. I will have to go by the party guidelines. Except that in my case, the law does not require me to resign. Because in parliament, you can be a minister and be an MP.
Yes.
So that one doesn't arise.
Yes.
But if I was the CEO of an entity and any other office holder outside of a ministerial way, I'll be required to resign. It is only fair. It makes sense. How does saying that and after developing these guidelines constitutes a rift between the party and how does it target anybody? It doesn't target anybody.
Yeah, but these are.
Let me also add.
Okay, fine.
Even assume you said there was a disagreement.
Yes. Yes.
Between the party and government in terms of policy position, and I say how to set the line. That is not a bad thing because I have been in government. 2 ministries have disagreed on policy before, That in itself is not bad. It only means that we are thinking about how to develop our country, how to run governance properly, and at the same time maintain a strong and healthy party. So
yes.
But to say because the general secretary of the party has said this, things that you and I can attest to say, they are sound and reasonable. You know, there is friction. I don't get it, to be honest with you. And in any event, it has even nothing to do with I also West. I also
Eastern sense. But Nami Busa say, because these are appointees of the president, helping the president to prosecute his agenda for Ghana. Some of these appointees were drawn from the party. Ebi direct party executives or mampenyi power say omumrame som e wona ban mu. If the party is going to take a decision, which decision may deprive the president of these people of the use of human resource we are? You think the president should not be a critical part of that decision?
But why do you assume that the president is unaware of it? So why is that assumption coming from? But the president come and tell you that.
No, but I told you, sir, many general secretary of the deputy general secretary didn't come. I asked him a direct question. Say, on the day the decision was made, was the president in attendance at NEC or say no? Did the president approve of that decision? He couldn't give an answer.
But it doesn't mean that the president was not aware. The president doesn't have to attend a NEC meeting to be aware of the party decision. But you see, the point is that as a party, we operate according to rules. Why? If the party chairman, regional secretary, HB cabinet to deliberate over some of the most important policy decisions are about we take here.
Yes.
Why should it be difficult for the president to be party to a party decision? The president doesn't need to come and tell you, say, that is what happened. If the regulations as have been set out by the party general secretary were unfavorable,
yes,
were illegal, or were inimical to the interest of the party, you would have heard clearly, retorts and answer the battle. But nothing of the sort has happened. Number two, I don't even see how complying with the guidelines, top of contested party position now, with an 6 months to the time, can constitute deprivation of the president of Sani panel services. Omanpenini Epau said the minister. And I believe the behavior.
Yes.
Your primary responsibility is to focus on that job. So you leave and then you go and do it. What do you mean you're doing at the same time? But of course, practically, there have been people who have been co-opted from the party to serve in critical positions.
Yes.
You find that in most instances, are the deputies, because practically it is not possible to be a minister and say a high-level government official and who
still do party work,
which requires intense work, day-to-day work.
Yeah.
In fact, there are many of those who themselves have declared intense because they know the workload that they carry.
Yes.
It will not permit the sense sufficient attention to be paid to the party position as well.
Yes.
So that in itself is not an issue. So a personal decision. And I make it say, I want to retain my position in government or I want to serve the party. You make that position. But say you have to comply with guidelines. And does not constitute a risk at all.
Very well. Committee in the report, I was saying about
China. Na party ni take a decision.
To all intent and purpose. Say omunwa results.
For sudden.
The majority in parliament. Majority in parliament. Oh.
Who are they? People should be careful.
The members of the majority caucus of the NDC in parliament has become aware of the widely circulated allegations of vote buying in the just concluded NDC parliamentary primary in the Ayawaso East constituency in the Greater Accra region. The caucus wishes to strongly condemn these developments against the background of the agenda to reset the politics of this country. After extensive deliberations on the matter, the core leadership, as well as the extended leadership of the caucus, has resolved to communicate to the Functional Executive Committee of the NDC as follows. 1. that the primary of the NDC organized in Ayawaso East constituency be annulled immediately. 2, that any candidate who participated in the said primary and has been established to have engaged in this unethical conduct be banned from participating in the subsequent primary after the annulment of the decision. In the Omono calling for investigation in Poor Mosi Munchem Bane aspirants. This is the majority, and it's signed by 16 caucus leaders of the majority per each region. Region be a caucus leader from
listen, watch my face. They are locusless.
Only locus.
The
parliamentary.
You're careful. And now some number. You see, a responsible political party, the moment general secretary are communicating, nobody have a locus. It's like normally the youth wing of the party can also issue a statement. Women's wing, diaspora caucus, Zongo caucus. Is that how we run a party?
No.
What is this? General secretary, after consultation with the leadership, political committee and everything, was directed to issue a statement and say this is the way of the party. What is their locus in this? Secondly, on so ko be na see ye pa kronfo omo bu kronfo kunu no
eya na bebre na aka ho
omo na ye kronfo no. Which of them is not guilty of what has happened?
Offense way. So
what is this? Why won't you leave the party to take the decisions or the actions you want to take, and you go out there to make this thing?
Now,
at the end of the day,
what surprises me is majority of the members of the majority, you can't say caucus, no, are lawyers. I mean, say BBSC. Now you don't even call for investigations straight away, annul the vote, ban the people involved. Really?
Oh, is that how we should act in this country? Democracy, no, legislators, we natural. And for me statement, me feel so bad, so bad.
Especially coming after.
As we speak, many of them, majority of them, are buying things and keeping in their home to even determine who become a branch chairman, who become a branch secretary. They shouldn't look. They shouldn't put some of us. We want the sanctity of the party. Yes, I stand for it. Any decision that will come from the committee investigation, whatever, I will stand for it. Because what did we call for? We called to reset this country. And the political party that called for a reset of the country, say Bibia Kosune the party image be called into distributor. And then I can say I'm familiar with this person where Madame Funti because Jilani Chipimpina and the Ngwase brain. Any decision will have its ups and downs, consequences, but we are looking at a global view. How this thing went viral and international media has looked at it, and the personality involved was a diplomat. Are you getting me? That was why the president have to go the route he went. Are you getting me? Ain't party a communicating president ni route naba. You say come humble. This should sober every individual in the NDC. Say if you don't apply maturity, this is how it will end you. Because which of us can say a by election we don't do certain things that will motivate the voting public to give us the leverage. We do, but sensibility. So and then when we apply sensibility and maturity, now wato jemwa kra no neman ni kronu. Why? Oh minya we de watom yemfa unsi nchen yempe then injection violet ni abombelet bi mu so ni abombelet amoxicillin bi mu na yemfa fra powder Saturday night powder na dressing powder na yemfa krakra ewu a dachi bi nyame betina e wadum. That is how we should go. But obia jumpy like kill the the baby with the bathroom water because we drying na we jam in egu hun enti kunu ya then obinya. Are you getting me? Nobody will support whatever went on to say oh I see that one but how we humble ourselves in this whole process is a careful. It's a curve, you know, in the political practice, you know, every time you meet a curve, but how do you navigate that curve? You navigate in a year or China, you will see your way clear. Until we must I think from the top to largely majority of the grassroots, nobody is happy with it because it didn't speak well. I know people are agitating, it's party near where look, everybody should humble himself. Be humble. Because a bit me me, the reason why many people will say Anthony de Umbuadi or say me, I am the only person who can tell you take your foot. I don't need it. Say me can open carry your foot. Because you see, me, I've never gone to election. On election day say me chardy. In the process of campaigning, every constituency I'm a copy the army one me the mom to say yes, my bar, my free bro, my betina, my betie me. Me election day. So Benyami say me kita tekuni sempo me mama ni bi. Muntu ma mama muntu. And family home. Because I don't have that capacity say we di call around crap on easy o. Enye easy so be mobilize. Say oh Charlie every concern me kwa e bia looking at the terrain baby and kofuni fin okay e be 2,000 e be 3,000 e be 5,000 just say mudi sorti mo ho na me we abre abetinasi election day now say mo free maba me mama mamuntu me maw yes and everybody can tell me election day I don't do it because nyame won me dey abre mo ho no ene musu mu dia ni say mo ba be kire me odo na nyina yetu anamo abodi party. Are you getting me? Haven't you seen this thing happening when people you see shamefully on them? Some of them who are talking today, we have pictures of what they branded in the last premise, what the ice chest cook nyama fumbi normal cause say for China. Excuse me to say this. Normal be chama women organizers, youth organizers nyama fun enye dumampu. And they are talking today in parliament. Please. He who never commit that sin should take the first stone and cast.
Cast the first stone.
Are you getting me? Why are you jumping ahead of the party's decision or the party's roadmap? Why? It is an act of indiscipline.
On the part of the
majority caucus.
The majority caucus.
Yes. When the general secretary of a party speaks, nobody. Whoever you are nobody. That is the communication of the party. Finish. Wait until the next step. Who will be here? Fako committee name. Then you jump to air and make this statement as if say party near headless. Where are we going? Timi mesre. Obi biara jubreo. I also is for Mamutu Biswabo. Mamutu. Calm down. The party is in a critical decision making. It can be palatable, it can be unpalatable. But at the end of the day, the integrity and the sanctity of the NDC is what we are all looking at. Nobody can vary whatever decision will come. That will be them. And you see, a candidate has emerged, but without the letterhead and the signature of the General Secretary to EC, he can't file.
Yeah, that's true.
He or she cannot file.
That's true.
And the supporters may not know this. Anything you win, yes, you have won. We have had it before. People have won election, but they didn't file.
Before we need primaries, but now
yes,
on the ticket of the party. Yeah.
So everybody should come. Now, influences and emotions should be taken out of this. Look, I was so tense and bad looking at Obi friend say, I'm not going to declare whether you were happy or you were not happy. We didn't know what was happening. How will I be happy? Are you getting me? Me the message. You was said here, and greater cry volatile region and a volatile constituency. Also, and yeah, we can joke with the emotions of the people there. So whatever will come out, we need to navigate it and make sure say obiati say look ni akoso ni akwaba nyina no eye party ni do ni party ni dachi any fortunately ye na ye kra oman Ghana the international look and the local look of the people who gave us the mandate, everything come to play at the table. I get me say your man be so na we are waka if you nipa na sample say oh me na me kan so me there mejem enko that is maturity but yeah my mu there it's like say kankan kra ba junti na ekrem.
But there are those who believe and so say in all of this, no, one person seems to be targeted.
No,
I say Obia nipa ba kuno obi ebo ni dey.
Fine.
And the reason then so we say almost all the aspects.
And nothing a committee no is taking the pieces.
Okay.
Is taking the pieces. Yes, will be yeah.
Yes.
But would you na beto dwa? Would you beto dwa yes investigate? But you won't kwa na investigate. Before, during, and after, what happened? What gravity of material inducement and a course across the candidates? If people can be bold and go and say yes, Miji say, this is the evidence. That is firm.
Emra mainstream party no NDC General Secretary this statement by the first statement is also targeted at Baba Jama. I'm saying the Bonnie Ben away. Baba Jama, Bonnie Ben away. Now this is no more. No one knows my year to my Baba Jama. I've known Baba Jama since to a Nente Sebao. Our Jinamoma party no. But then na ye ni suminaso. Baba wo a boss sa. Now
About your former deputy general secretary.
Yes.
Of the party.
Yes. Starting before say propaganda, Baba aye juma NDC ba. Aside the deputy minister for information near there. What you say? But a koyo na faso no. As if him. Na onim
Mischief.
NDC statement no smacks of hypocrisy and double standards. Because system candidate no win and therefore
Sister candidate.
Hajia. Oh. Omoko bo Hajia nso bia metie na me shebe.
Majority caucus.
These same people.
This same majority caucus now the kobo.
Omo na kobo nsa.
2 days.
2 days Hajia nyen konchema delegates.
Oman kan sa.
Sa na kire Hajia jina konchema delegates.
Oman 100,000.
Asamba na ya no mo kan. Onim.
Eto breakfast. 100,000.
Hajia jina konchema branch executive we ni mafo ani bra bre. Me say who through a omo hwe ba bia o emo no 5 kilos yetimi yi miensa yes Hajia dia. Mampanyini se Hajia dia. Mampanyini se Hajia dia.
Eh mintina ma wonya bisue.
And sanya ma we no koya ni ho.
Obi oji oyewe no me for mampanyi di bad we mu. You can't be the president's name into this. No.
I saw some CEOs on the ground now. Omo campaign in fact onim.
Omo Baba Kudi.
Oh, I don't know person me obinya problem.
That then why?
Anthony, never talk.
Maybe he's lying.
No,
Anthony,
hold on.
You are misleading.
Go Facebook crowd omo crowd dey be church. I don't even need unim omo.
But to make a definite statement say omo be chair more manpanyin.
Omo dey manpanyin na your campaign. Oh, tie. Eto omo hunu say baba ye popular e wo ni ma chair manpanyin. E ha omo. I'm telling you, at the end of course or no. So me media as a political watcher no sanya ma we no menim my year media my say mo chia che matene mo achem my bi enti minim ne eko eto mo hunu say ye the presidency abaye campaign ye bibia bi baba ti ma piti ye dia ene ogu man panyina ni mu ase because the candidate na anwen but please munya botre kakra because say ye campadia and ye when it comes to bribery from what I said me feel is a very serious issue affecting individuals, government, society obia because obia nim say proyene kankan de enye papa e bom mine. Now the concentration is on vote buying. What about the vote selling? because the law is against vote selling.
Yeah.
I don't want to believe say Baba is on tape. Or catch on say J TV 32 inches.
Yes.
Nyako to Abama me. If it's on tape, and now say world meetings no, branch meetings no. So omunya bibi sa say onu John say me mamu TV monyin koto Abama me dia. Enye na Baba mu asem wo ho. But say omo anya sa pona, it will be difficult to establish that prima facie. Say, indeed, Baba Jama had the TV influencing delegates.
So the timing of giving it out, if indeed it's free in a while, the timing also can be an issue.
Now, the idea it will be a timing in the home.
No, say, are they all the check why more? Are they delegates? Did they vote? All those can be considered.
Now, no, watch Kosia.
Yes. Yes.
Kosia no, any item na na watch.
Any item.
Good. When is a bitch Amonike now?
Amonike,
Abonike, say you
know.
Frederick.
I'm telling you.
Abonike.
Yes. And yama bebre na koso.
Me na me tie a Kivo Gary mix.
Oh, me say me konya omochebi. But unim say some of the appointees. Say omomoton sa yogurt ne farmer one. Utwema no machi wagina ho. Aja say yenchema. Aja say yenchema. And sometimes you ask yourself say, hey, and then they cause it. I think na cause oh. Akoso na baba na nanimo hanto omo hange no.
Oh.
And omo ye ne sa. It's so pathetic. Because you see, a more politician or kasa say we bia. Obia beka say uye nyacho and they say we are all involved.
Sure.
We are all involved. In fact, Political Parties Act 2000 at 574 no cry no. Eka esisu duampo say sika kra ye de funding political activities no yen disclose to Electoral Commission.
Yes.
Only say act ne ka say sika political parties bet menya any say obenya sika from obeje membership dues.
Yes.
And I say
so obenya contribution
Ghana
Ghana ni
but want to mean sika
every foreigner.
Because NDC say elections are your call 2024 no omo jiskani be free ni.
Send the obi ani.
Obi ani. Omo na make us a
mama dibi.
Mo sem na ye kan ya waso man ntobo ne yenka. Enti edu ba bi na say asem ne ba say na omanpanyina tiesim na NDC parliamentary party no matiesim no matiesim a no say nyatwomfo no na epiepie ba no. Because omanpanyini ankasa kra no wo kon elections. He gave money to delegates. A baba here topic I discussing no this very studio.
Yeah.
Media cost now you see. The real target is not Baba Jamo. It's NPP.
Sir.
Yes, only say OSP no. So be investigating NPP call presidential branch. Yes, me nimnia omo ye. Baba the name ko secret. Me nimnia omo ye. Now they want to know say okay NPP for mo call ye no. We so na bontine bi so be kan meje 500 Ghana meje 700 meje say enti no more time say by the number sources of funding ni free hene you see I know all these things but unim ye nyina no knee jerk reaction. You see, if you want to combat corruption in this country share legislations no your major legislations are anti-corruption in this country. However, political parties, need to say two glamorous political parties, to say MPP and NDC. Say MPP, the show more constitution, must say. Your core primaries, be it presidential or parliamentary, and your core constituency executives, and our regional executives, who are designate you as a delegate. You be say, oh, GBB every one. One case your best sanction. Also, I would man your best sanction wa. And the NDC is also same. I make it provisions in their constitution. Trust you me. And I enter the same way.
But how about as Ras Mubarak proposes say the NDC, for example, should go back to what they started. Say every card-bearing member in Twaba at that level.
And look, there was a balloon in corruption.
Oh, now say they would
there be getting crowd on the toes you. I'm telling you. You see, and you're funny. This delegate system. And you're very, very funny.
And so scrap it.
So that is the point. So there should be a discussion. It is our conversation cost to see practical approach. I bet me and they are combating corruption and bribery in this country. Than sad year we say no emotions. No, yeah, sorry. Oh, and yeah, castrating no. Yeah, no, not at all. OSP. Or T ya kukuru. No, sorry. What the whole deal with your Mubiano Mukodidi? And we are be show Mubia microphone lunch. OSP phone. You see, a Jumana Kasa, I was so much here. No, I just say, yeah, can't want someone son no sorry. What is that? May your anti-corruption crusader. My in fact, African Parliamentarian Network Against Corruption. I was the national chapter secretary. What's the mention? When I was in Parliament. When it comes to corruption, you work first with between the sea and no coin. But look at what is happening. Baba Jama, dear no. Baba Jama says, no, I am victim. Oshana Semna, the man Yare, one is say. Any point, Obi didn't dia iska. Obi didn't dia iska, Echo Che. Tiseka Baba nye, Sebia, allegedly, se TV, free na, ne hobe bia, man, ne campo, meaning Kababa lose elections. No? Baba lose elections, and so and Koma Korea Behuno. Honorable Wari. You see the people we are dealing with. Almo Pewanim Guasia, Enti and Nguasiana Mano, Yansan Chuntof. That is what is happening. Some of us have gone through Sanyama way, and I know the pains